Hello and welcome. We are on the brink of a truly historic cosmic event, one so rare that no one alive today will ever see it happen again. We're talking about a major conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, and it's happening right at the fiery, explosive starting point of the zodiac. Now, this isn't just another astrological alignment, it's a profound reset that is literally set to shape the very fabric of our future.
So to really get what's happening, we've got to meet the two main players in this cosmic drama, Saturn and Neptune. And let me tell you, they could not be more different. Think of Saturn as the architect of reality. It's all about structure, limits, and the hard, tangible world you can actually see and touch. Then you have Neptune. Neptune is the mystic, the dreamer. It's all about spirituality, boundless imagination, and the power to dissolve those very structures that Saturn builds. So when they come together, you get this massive tension, a clash between cold, hard reality and our deepest, most profound dreams.
So in this explainer, we're first going to look at the massive global shifts this whole thing is kicking off. Then we'll zoom right in on what it means for you personally based on your sign and your ascendant. And finally, we'll talk about the one big responsibility this cycle is asking from every single one of us. All right, let's start with the big picture, because this isn't just about your personal life, not by a long shot. This conjunction is like a collective reset button being pushed for the entire world. You're going to want to mark your calendars for February 20th, 2026. That's the day this alignment becomes exact at 0 degrees of Aries, the very first spark of the entire zodiac. Now, to put this into perspective, a conjunction of this magnitude, at this critical starting point, well, it hasn't happened in over 3,000 years. So we're not just turning a page here, we are starting a completely new book. And what's really fascinating is when you look back at history, just like this timeline shows, these 36-year cycles consistently line up with the collapse of old, rigid systems. You see it in 1917 with the Russian Revolution, again in 1953 with the end of the Stalin era, and of course, in 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Every single time Saturn and Neptune have met like this, a reality that seemed unbreakable just dissolved, making way for something totally new. And you don't have to look far to see this energy building right now. It's all around us. All these global pressures are the symptoms. Saturn's old structures, things like borders, traditional leadership, old rules, they just aren't cutting it anymore. And Neptune's influence, that's the dissolving of norms, the ideological confusion, and the boundless unregulated growth of things like AI. The world is in flux because the old reality is crumbling before the new one has actually been built.
You know, there is an old Portuguese proverb that just captures this dynamic perfectly. Soft water on a hard stone hits so much that it pierces through. And that is the absolute essence of what's happening. Neptune is the soft water, that relentless, persistent dream for a better world. And Saturn is the hard stone, the old, rigid structures of government, finance, and society. And that water is just beating against the stone, and sooner or later, it's going to break right through. So that's the big picture, the world stage. But how does this grand cosmic drama actually play out in your personal life? Let's break down where this reality check is happening for you, based on your sun sign and, maybe even more importantly, your ascendant.
Okay, Aries, let's start with you. This conjunction is landing smack dab in your first house of self. This is as personal as it gets. You're not just in for a change, you're looking at a fundamental reset of your entire identity. Any masks you've been wearing, they're about to dissolve. The call here is to build a new sense of self from the ground up, one that marries your highest spiritual vision with a real-world, tangible mission. It's about finally truly becoming the person you were always meant to be.
Taurus, for you, this energy is moving through your 12th house, which is the most hidden, most spiritual part of your chart. This is signaling a really profound period of inner work. It's time to face those old fears, those subconscious patterns, maybe even some karmic baggage. Saturn is asking you to bring structure to your spiritual life. Maybe that's a consistent meditation practice or therapy, and finally get some closure on the past. You're dissolving old limiting beliefs to clear the runway for a major new beginning that's coming your way in the next few years.
Gemini, this is lighting up your 11th house of community, friendships, and your biggest hopes for the future. So it's time for a major reality check on your social life. Who's your real tribe? Which of your dreams are just fantasies, and which ones are you actually willing to do the hard work to build? You might find some friendships dissolve, but it's only to make way for alliances with people who are truly on board with your new, more purposeful vision for the future.
Cancer, this conjunction is hitting the very top of your chart, your 10th house of career and public reputation. Your entire professional life is up for review. That dream you had of what you wanted to be, that's your Neptune vision, and it's finally meeting the reality of what you need to build with Saturn. Just working for a paycheck is going to feel completely soul-crushing. Your career has to become a true calling, a real, tangible mission that expresses your deepest purpose out in the world.
Leo, this energy is firing up your ninth house of belief systems, higher learning, and big picture perspective. Your whole philosophy on life is getting restructured. Any vague spiritual beliefs you've had are about to be put to the test. This is a call to build a practical, workable philosophy that you can actually live by. Maybe that's through disciplined study or teaching, or even embarking on a really meaningful journey. You're building a bridge between your faith and your day-to-day reality.
For you, Virgo, the focus is on your 8th house. This brings a serious reality check to your deepest bonds, your shared finances, and your psychological depths. Any hazy boundaries in your relationships or financial partnerships, they have to be clarified now. It's time to build healthier structures around intimacy and debt, and to get brutally honest about any emotional or financial dependencies that are holding you back from your true power.
Libra, your 7th house of one-on-one partnerships is getting a total reset. This is where your dream of the perfect relationship meets the Saturnian reality of commitment and hard work. Any vague or imbalanced connections are about to face a major moment of truth. This transit is all about building new contracts, and I mean both literal and energetic contracts, based on crystal clarity, mutual responsibility, and a shared, tangible vision you can build together. This is a 6th house story for you, Scorpio, and it's demanding a complete overhaul of your daily life, your work, and your health. The dream of feeling good, it just isn't enough anymore. Saturn is demanding you build the actual habits that create well-being. It's time to get serious about your routines and health practices to support a higher purpose. Your daily grind is meant to dissolve and be rebuilt as a sacred, disciplined practice that truly serves you. Sagittarius, your 5th house of creativity, romance, and pure, unadulterated joy is lighting up. You know that brilliant creative project you've been dreaming about for ages? Well, it's time to stop talking and start building. This transit demands that you treat your passions with discipline and give them a real-world form. Romance also gets a reality check, asking for real commitment over a fleeting fantasy. It's time to build something real and lasting from the things that bring you the most joy. This transit hits the very root of your chart, Capricorn, your 4th house of home, family, and emotional security. You are rebuilding your inner and outer foundation from the ground up. Any vague anxieties or unstable family dynamics have to be addressed with concrete, practical solutions. Old emotional patterns are dissolving, and you're being asked to construct a new, solid sense of what home and security really mean to you. For you, Aquarius, the 3rd house of communication and learning is activated. Your brilliant, futuristic ideas are finally meeting Saturn's demand for structure. See, it's no longer enough to just have the vision. You have to build a disciplined framework to communicate it effectively. This could mean mastering a new skill, actually writing that book, or starting that podcast. You're learning to speak with a new kind of grounded authority. And finally, Pisces. This is landing right in your 2nd house of values, income, and self-worth. After years of Neptune dissolving your very identity, your ruling planet now meets Saturn, asking you to build something tangible from your talents. This is all about creating real-world financial security based on your unique spiritual gifts. Your values are getting crystal clear, and you're being called to build a solid foundation of self-worth that is actually reflected in your bank account. Okay, so now that we've seen the global and the personal impact, let's zoom back out one last time. What is the single most important message of this entire 36-year cycle?
So what's the crucial takeaway? It's really this. This conjunction signals the end of magical thinking. It's the end of passively hoping that someone else or some outside force is going to come along and fix our problems. The universe is making it crystal clear that our highest dreams, our Neptune ideals, are nothing but vapor without the discipline and structure of Saturn. And on the flip side, a reality built only on structure with no guiding vision is an empty and meaningless one. You see, Saturn in Aries brings with it this unavoidable theme of personal responsibility. And here's the thing about Saturn. The bill always comes. It demands that we take ownership of our actions and their consequences. Whatever new world we choose to create, whether it's personal or collective, we have to be willing to stand behind it and do the actual work. And so, this historic alignment leaves every single one of us with a simple yet incredibly profound question.
As the old world dissolves and a brand new one waits to be born, the blueprint is now in your hands. So the question is, what reality will you build now?